And you have just missed the whiskey bungee jumping and bungee jumping.
Bungee
Bungee
jumping.
jumping, bungee
Bungee.
jumping.
I want a bungee jump now.
We want a bungee jump.
That is now a saying in Invisible Sun. We will find out what it is.
Bungee jumping. All right, Robin. Let's tie the knot and bungee jump. Hey, everybody, this is Invisible Sun. Welcome to Grammar of the Dark, an Invisible Sun narrative here on Tales from the Grim. My name is Grant Ellis. I'm an independent content creator for tabletop role-playing games. And this is the most beautiful cast on Twitch. Said from the bottom of my heart. I hope you all had an excellent holiday if you celebrate it. If you don't celebrate it, you're kind of like me. Sorry. Breathe. Invisible Sun is a game by Monty Cook, which is all about surrealism, secrets, and what it means to be human. We play this game bi-weekly here on Tales from the Grim. We have an amazing cast, and why don't we get to know them? So what we're going to do is we're going to go around clockwise to Charlie, then Tommy, then Greg, then Lindy. Take it away, Charlie.
Hi, I'm just like jamming out. I've got the Saturday Night Fever soundtrack going. I'm so excited we're here again. It's been a little while, but I've just been dying in private DMs to get back to playing this game. I love the kooky, crazy quirkiness that is this. It's joyful, and I'm playing a Lucy girl. And I don't have her sentence in front of me, but she weaves with moonshine and makes magic and had a magic umbrella, which she has now given to Robin, and is trying to keep hearts from breaking and secrets from being discovered.
I was going to say, weaves with moonshine sounds like when I'd ask Grandpa what he was doing in, like, the workshop. It's like, what you doing, Grandpa? He's weaving with moonshine. It's the stuff dreams are made of.
That's Lucy Girl's granddad. Right there.
Bud White was Lucy Girl's granddad. And, Tommy, how you doing?
Hey, it's been a minute. I am super excited to dive back into the Invisible Sun world. I'm Tommy. I play Reverend Ex Nihilo Nihil Fit, also known as Reverend Neil. I'm a stalwart stoic of the Order of Vance who consumes flesh. There has not been much flesh consuming as of late, so he's looking a little bit peaky right now. But a little more than usual, I would say.
Indeedio. Also joining us tonight, Greg himself. Hi, Greg.
Hey, buddy. I can't wait to get back and play with this. We always have. I really, not to, set a bar or anything. We have really great sessions that, honest to goodness, make me think well after we're done. The system's fantastic for many reasons. My favorite is the prompting of imagination. It is Neverland. It is Oz. It is all of those crazy things that happen to you 30 seconds before you wake up. You remember for a minute and then are gone. In the next however many minutes we play, we live in that time between sleeping and awake, and I absolutely live for those moments. I will be playing Robin. Robin is an itinerant gallant of the Order of Goeticus. He is ready to rock and roll. He is really, blah, 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 descriptors, modifiers. He's here to assist, support, help his friends, and to make sure that they are able to uncover the secrets that they need. And his friend being Lucy Girl, because of course he's pretty sure Lobelia wants organs or his soul or something else. And then the Reverend, of course, is a spiritual guide, too reverential, pardon the pun, to really be, he's here to help Lucy. She gave him an umbrella. She's his friend. He loves her. Okay, so that's why we're here. Let's go.
Also joining us, the monster herself, Laugh of Lindy.
Well, I do have my birder boots on, Grant. We had lunch today. Yes, I am Lindy, and I will be playing Lobelia, the Aromatic Stoneheart Maker, who converses with everything. And last time got what she's been seeking this whole time, which is a perfect unbroken heart for her masterwork project of the perfect boyfriend, perfect companion, all that stuff. It's good. She put it in, since it all ready to go. Gotta figure it out.
So tonight, the Vizsla have decided that they were going to embark and go on a bit of speed dating. This speed dating was going to be held at the secret bar on the Singing Street in Lower Taverswood, which is a neighborhood in Satterine. Satterine being the city they all live in. If you were to imagine Satterine, imagine neighborhoods all very, very much unique, about 17 different districts, completely different than one another in tone, feel, and appearance. In order to get to one, you either walk through massive ruined expanses. Think of Europe after a world war. Just the most sorrowful things you have ever seen. Demons walking the streets. You either go on foot in a very treacherous path, or you take Satterine rail, not whale. The whale flies. And
wait, can that be a thing? Can
whale,
the
hello there!
Can the train be a whale?
Can it be a whale?
It is tonight. And it swims there. I have a blowhole. Sorry. I'm not going to become the whale. So they take the train, and that is where we are going to begin. And I'd actually like our players. So they're in two distinct groups. There is the Perfect Boyfriend group, which is consists of Reverend Neil, Lobelia, and I guess he's preferring to be called Parzival in public, but he's Peradventure. Peradventure, natheless, the perfect man, or rather the perfect lover. And they share a car. And then in another car, you have Lucy Girl, Batali, and Robin. Which side would like to begin sort of their scene? This is just a traveling scene. We have some time together that we spend. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to roll for it. I'm going to roll my two-sided die. Team Charlie's going first. It's going to be Batali, Lucy Girl, and Robin. So we are in a rail car, and our seats in this particular car, this is the car of Skull and Bones. So it looks like we're sitting on kind of like little skulls with their mouths open, and we kind of set in the set into the skulls. They're surprisingly comfortable. They're very pillowy on the inside. But we also all kind of feel like the final boss of like a 1980s Nintendo game sitting in these kind of weird skull cocoons.
I imagine it almost like the haunted house ride at Disney where they're like kind of encasing you and you just kind of cruise along.
Oh, yes, 100%. Right down to, I'm not going to make a joke about the Hall of Presidents, but yeah, so they're encased, they're creepy. There's only two of these seats, though, so who is sitting beside each other and who is sitting across?
I imagine that Robin and Lucy are sitting next to each other and Batali is opposite. That would be my suggestion.
Well, yeah, so Leo's hand kind of every now and then reaches out and touches Robin on the face and goes, "He is not alone." Leo is the strange half-formed puppet doll inside his jacket. "Who sits beside us, my lord?" He's kind of Voldemorting around your inside. So while you're riding, what do you talk about? What happened that morning, and what's happening on the road? So we'll play this out. What do you want to know?
Because of the events of the past couple episodes where Robin has been through the gauntlet of an ex-student that he saw, destroyed in front of him, presumably. He had to face a lot of fears with the help of friendship and umbrellas. And he's just really nervous about this entire process. Back in Shadow, he was a poet, a teacher. Some things just don't leave you when you come to the City of Forever. So he's trying to basically, get himself focused on the task at hand while simultaneously kind of, drinking from the font of courage. And the person that has always made him feel better, whether it's with protection from the rain or just statements of conviction, is Lucy Girl. So he's just staring. What's the plan?
I don't know, really. I think we'll go in and we'll see what's going on and, be social and fun and make sure Lobelia still has the key and find out where she's hiding it because we need to get that back. And then we've got to, socialize and meet people, and we'll probably ask questions and answer questions, and there'll be music, and it'll be great. And Lucy Girl today, instead of her normal sunflowers, has these great big red poppies that slowly are kind of traveling around her face. And she's dressed up for this occasion, but she still wears her customary raincoat and red Wellington boots.
For the third time, Batali compliments your attire. You're looking great today, Lucy Girl. That's it. Is that a new outfit?
Oh, yes. I don't know. It's always fun going out, isn't it? And dressing up. And you look good too.
Thanks. You see his ears like plastered on the wall to the car, like behind us, almost as if he's listening in to what's going on. He's like, I shaved today. And he turns, and you notice like half his face is shaved, the other half it's kind of stubbly. He's like, I think I missed half. Exactly half. Oh no!
I thought it was a new style. And she's gonna look to Robin like, back me up, please back me up.
Yes. I did too.
Robin, can I have half of your stubble to kind of even it out?
No. Because then I'll have half.
Leo's hand kind of reaches up and tries to pluck something. He goes, just give the boy some. He's desperate. And can't quite pick the stubble from your face. You just...
Back! Damn it! Back!
Yes, my lord. He kind of sucks away back into
to the pit. Back to the left armpit.
Well, is there any like magic you can do to like help it grow out? Could you weave me some facial hair that's better than this?
I know. All right. Let me think.
I can.
You can?
I can. However, it's not really hair. I can, however, form a mass of tendrils to grow from his upper torso that could look like a beard.
A neck beard of sorts.
Well, actually,
yeah,
very gross.
Very Henry David Thoreau.
Yeah. So, do we do this thing to Batali? He's willing. He's desperate.
Why don't we call that plan B? And I'll try mine first, and then if not, we can grow the tentacles and we can arrange them, and I'm sure it'll look fine. And Lucy is gonna look at the window beside us. This plane of glass, and how dark is it outside?
Well, through the gel they've put over the window, it might as well be night.
Good. That means that we can see ourselves because it's lighter in here than it is out there.
Correct.
So Lucy is gonna weave with moonshine, and she's gonna do it to enhance this reflection. And she's gonna use the reflection and the shadows that she can cast with the light to try and form a shadowy beard for Batali, and then manifest that onto Batali's face.
Okay, so this is going to be a test of magic. So just go ahead and roll a 10-sided die and let me know what you get.
All right. 2. That's not good.
No, that's just right though. So you did perfect. If you did too much, he was going to come out looking like ZZ Top. I was actually in my head. I said if she rolls 2, it's perfect. So
I just realized as well with the moon and the moonshine, I could have gone Luna and Lycanthrope because they grow a lot of hair too. But it's fine. It's a shadow thing.
He looks like Michael J. Fox for the rest of it. He's a little
Teen Wolf.
Yeah.
I want a keg of beer.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, so you clear up his thing. He looks very much like, say, he's got that like Indiana Jones thing going. This is the most ruggedly handsome Batali has looked in a long time,
and I've added some extra sparkle to his eyes because you never miss when people have sparkle in their eyes.
He's got a little twinkle. He's got a little highlight. This is the most adorable Batali's ever looked. And his little Poindexter outfit he has with his little bow tie and his little green jacket, and he's wearing a pair of gray slacks. His shoes are kind of this like chocolate color, and he's just kind of like, man, I'm excited. I'm really thinking I might meet somebody, and he kind of chokes up, and so that's.
Tali, you're gonna meet lots of people. It's gonna be fun.
You're right. This is going to be lots of fun. I've never gone speed dating before. The closest thing to it was once my parents set me up with all of my brothers, and we went to meet. They were. It was a family like us, quintuplets, but they were all girls. It didn't work out. They were fungus people. Not our type. We don't judge, though.
Oh, of course not.
The D. Santana brothers just weren't ready for that. Robin, who are you hoping to meet someone there? Have you been on many dates, Robin? You look wizened. You look experienced.
No, I just look old. There's a difference. And,
I wouldn't say old. I'd say more antiquated.
So that sounds even better. You're a relic. I
Literally a saint's finger severed and kept in a jar.
Right.
Mummified.
Yeah, people from religious orders come up and, take clippings whenever they need to go somewhere.
Yes.
Explains your friendship with Neil.
Exactly. It also, as much as he yells at Leo for, caressing chin and ear and asking questions, Robin at his heart is lonely, as is the life of a poet and a writer. So this is an experience for him, and he's trying to drink most of it in. But being there with his friends is the number one reason. And of course, being able to listen to Bee Gees, which of course we don't have the license for. So everybody go on Spotify and turn on some Bee Gees and experience the wonder that is.
I've gone for the Saturday night soundtrack.
Wonder what I have close to this. So, yeah, just give me a little while.
We're a little bit funky. We're a little bit 70s, and we're staying alive.
Meanwhile, in Greg's head, he immediately goes to, I'm a little bit country. I'm a little bit rock and roll. Sorry, the freaking Osmonds. Okay. I promise not to do that again.
I've got Tragedy on right now.
I've got Honesty by Billy Joel. Let's see what I can get.
By the way, put that in the notebook, Grant. We play an entire episode of Invisible Sun, but whenever we speak, we can only use song lyrics or titles.
We're gonna do it.
Oh God, so, I'm not gonna be able to really talk at all. I know like 3 songs.
All right.
I know a lot of music, just not by heart.
I'm gonna pull down some disco music for the group. So, Batali says, well, Robin, even though you are antiquated and fossil-like, and I hope you find someone and that they love you.
Yeah. Batali, even though you're unwanted and lost and pretty much coming in second place, you do look ruggedly handsome tonight, so I hope that you find someone as well.
Well, you know what they say, second place is the first loser, he says with pride. Twinkle in his eye.
That's
when
right.
He realizes it sits You could literally pinpoint. It's like that episode of The Simpsons where his heart breaks. Ralph Wiggum's right in front of you.
You're already pretty ahead of the pack. Vitaly is like, I think 3 of your brothers are dead already, so you're doing well. I mean, you're percentage-wise, you're doing pretty good.
No, Greg, only one of his brothers is dead and it's your fault.
That's true.
You sent him off into the night.
That's implied. As the last of his brothers hung out with me and ended up dead. Hi, Vitaly.
I think while this exchange is happening, Lucy is kind of looking horrified as the empath in her is just absorbing all of these spoken aloud horrible things. But she can see they're both also weirdly kind of trying to be nice, so she's just staying quiet and letting them talk.
All right. We're going to cut to the other card now where, peradventure, Lobelia and Reverend Neil are talking. Neil, what Bible verse are we on?
We are on...
Which psalm?
Oh, God. There was a point in my life that I probably could have quoted the majority of the Bible to you, as not proud of.
I still teach Sunday school every week, so you're okay.
I can no longer do that. That was over a decade ago. But we're on Revelations.
Oh my gosh, this is great. The end of the world, just the end of the world.
And from the heavens came a chariot and 4 creatures at each corner.
Yeah. And Parzival. Oh, Tesla, you look like you're getting a little chunky. What you eating over there? No.
She's on a diet.
It's been cold. She had to layer up.
That's right.
She had a bulk. Tesla's Gains. Tesla'sGains.com.
But yeah, no, I think Reverend Neil has just been trying to get to know Lobelia. I think he starts out as like, I apologize, I've been meaning to drop by at a time that wasn't so hectic. I mean, the last time I stopped by your place, we had Demon drop in on us, and that was rather eventful. But I do know
your apology is accepted. Thank you.
Well, I thank you for your forgiveness. But I've been I know you are new to the neighborhood, and well, I just want to make sure that you got a right and proper greeting and a welcome. But unfortunately, events have conspired against that. But how are you doing? Are you adjusting well to your new place, to the neighborhood? I hope everyone is treating you all right.
Oh, yes, indeed. In fact, I have got much more work done already than I had anticipated originally in my original timeline. And she pulls out like a scheduler, like a planner, and it just like unfolds.
Yes. Well, I am glad that you are keeping productive. As they say, idle hands are the devil's playthings. And
Parzival kind of looks to Lobelia, and he looks back at the Reverend, and then back at Lobelia, and then asks, Is he okay?
Is he okay?
Does he need to be diagnosed?
Are any of us really okay, my child?
His hand kind of manipulates into obscure medical instruments, probably, from some sort of medieval. Like at first they look like probes, then they look like tongs, then his fingers look like leeches.
I assure you, my child, health-wise, I am in good condition. Spiritually, mentally, perhaps trying to fix some cracks, but
well, if you are in physical need of repair, I was a surgeon when I was before I came here, and Well, as you can see, I do excellent work. And I gesture to Parzival.
Was your character named Ruby in a previous in the game? Because now I'm having flashbacks. I personally have flashbacks.
Sorry, Tommy.
It's like I will certainly let you know should anything happen. If you are in need of anyone to talk to, an ear to listen to your problems, or any spiritual healing you may need, feel free to call upon me. I am often not far from my home. It's out by the church there, or what's left of the church. We are slowly starting to rebuild it.
Well, I appreciate your offer. I sincerely doubt that it will be necessary.
Yes. Well, the offer stands if you should ever find the need.
Your generosity is noted.
Parzival kind of speaks up. He goes, "What sort of things do you teach in your church?"
Oh, yes. Well, most of my church is about finding oneself. We are called the Church of the Lost Seekers.
His pupils are dilating while you're talking. They're getting wider and wider. Kind of leans in.
Everyone out there is looking for something to fill in the holes in their life, or
Kind of
help
turns to
repair
Lobelia
the
and he goes, "If you make yourself
cracks
look
in their
meek,
hearts.
he will not slay you." He just kind of keeps leaning in. Sort of this weird
I do
animal
not
biology
wish
defense
to-
tactic.
Slay anyone. I do like to think of myself as more of a, turn
Lover,
the
not a
other-
fighter.
To put it one way, yes. But I mean, that is something I try to teach, is that, one must love oneself before one can find oneself or find love.
I have a question for you. If I was given the option of going to your church or being in Lobelia's presence, which would you have me choose? I'm going to write down what I would actually choose and hand it to Lobelia.
I would have you choose whatever makes you happiest, my child. There are those who don't need my help.
Your mention of the
Thus-
word happy almost looks like it causes his brain to short circuit. I beg your pardon? What's happiness?
Happiness is finding reasons to live.
I'm very happy, he says, and he squeezes Lobelia's hand.
Squeeze
I'm
his
glad
back.
for you, my child. It is
Yes.
always good to find happiness in your life, wherever you may be able to find it.
We are very happy.
He looks at Neil. I'm gonna let you imagine in your head what his look says to you. That's your new goal.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
So I have some sooth cards I've been playing.
Lobelia definitely checks that piece of paper.
So let me pop this up. Oh, it says it was like, "With you, beautiful, duh," and then a little smiley face.
Oh, so perfect. And like perfect penmanship too. Like the
So
kerning is
untrustworthy near. Illusion, false
poor
identity,
kerning can
failure.
just destroy your soul. It's true.
Wait, does a perfect heart give you perfect penmanship?
Well, perfect craftsmanship gives you perfect penmanship.
Let's put it this way.
You're still looking for a brain, though, right? Isn't that what it is? Okay, I'm just checking. I'm seeing what I need to protect.
Oh, okay.
So
Lindy's around. You need to protect everything. Nothing is safe.
on the Indigo Sun, we have played the untrustworthy mirror card. Gold
Ooh.
magic's a little stronger. Silver magic's a little weaker. However, this card deals with ideas and concepts such as false identities, illusions, etc.
A mirror is my card family. Or
So
my
now-
object. Yeah.
We're going to see a I'm going to put on some tunes for you, the audience, as we arrive at the secret bar for our speed dating date night. So, let's try this track out. I'm going to be honest, I haven't auditioned it, so we'll see how it goes.
Grant, you said that gold magic was stronger, correct?
Yes.
And silver magic was weaker.
Yes.
I have no idea what color my magic is. So.
You're weird. There's some way of balancing out in the wheat. Yeah. So we've all got our tunes on. I played this track on one of the other shows. I didn't know I had this one. All right. So we arrive at the secret bar. On the steps up to it, each stone kind of lights up a different color based on your current mood and your current emotion. What do the stones that Robin steps on light up and feel like?
They're a mixture of pinks. It's like blush and bashful. So with each step, it's the same shade that his cheeks turn whenever he is embarrassed or flushed. So each step kind of just different hints: deeper pink, lighter pink, deeper pink, lighter pink. Uncertainty.
Batali's, unfortunately, despite the big smile on his face, look like Eeyore's rain cloud on everyone that he sets on. I don't know about Lobelia, but Parzival's, they're just perfect gold glittering steps. He's as calm as a summer store, as calm as a summer's day. It would be as if, springtime is becoming summer with every step that he takes. Just perfect weather, perfect demeanor. What about Reverend Neil?
I would say it is dark blue with maybe some hints of deep purple. Thoughtful, I think. He is in a pensive mood at the moment.
And Lucy girl?
Lucy's a kind of a peach color, just excitement and anticipation. And generally just happiness. At the moment she's just like looking forward to what's going on and excited, and it's like if butterflies were smashed together and made into a color, it's just that peach color.
I almost said, that's delicious. Then I was like, wait, no. Peaches are delicious. Smashed butterflies, it's debatable. Depends which continent I'm on. And Lobelia.
Lobelia's would be glowing white, but with a slight blue ring around the edge.
Ooh. Interesting. You go inside, you're in the secret bar. The thing about Lower Taverswood, there's 17 districts in Saturnine. Most people forget that Lower Taverswood is even there. There's no Upper Taverswood in Saturnine. This is, for all intents and purposes, the Forgotten District. The lights are low. They're kind of a low... It's sort of moving through the color wheel very peacefully, very slow, there's kind of a cadence to the shift in hue of the light as it moves from red to orange to yellow to green to blue, so on and so forth, through the colors in the color wheel. Through the various purples, and there are various seats, and there's good music, and there is a female figure on roller skates. Her head is essentially a beehive, though, with two gaping holes. It's in the shape of a human skull. There's two gaping holes where her eyes would be, and they're kind of dripping honey. She's got little bee teeth. She kind of skates up to your group as you come in. She's like, "Hello, can I snacks?" And she has a sorry, Charlie's. Don't you judge me.
Does she have like a plate of snacks out somewhere?
Yes. She's holding a
All of a
tray.
sudden, it's like The Witcher. I was just like backed in the face of the board by that description. Where'd it go? He's hiding behind Lucy Girl.
Leo's like, kill it with fire. Hush, Leo.
It's like, yes, if you don't mind, I would certainly enjoy some refreshments.
You look like you could use the word of God. And she pulls out like a little jar, and it's kind of like glowing. It's like very divinely illuminated inside, very radiant. Have you tried some?
Reverend Neil looks at her. Sorry, did you just call it the word of God?
Yes, literally. God spoke some words. We got them in this jar. Tastes delicious. If I do say so myself.
I will try some. I suppose you do have my curiosity piqued. And he'll hold out his hand for it.
Okay, she hands you the cup. Let me know when you drink that. You can drink it right away, or you can save it for later. Take small sips throughout the evening. And then I want you to describe the way you drink it to me, all at once, a little bit at a time. There's different effects.
It's gonna be sipping it a little at a time. No need for greed.
Okay, so you go line upon line, precept upon precept. So essentially, you start to have visions.
Oh, lovely.
Yes. Not only you see your church, you see your congregation. You see it growing in numbers. You see someone else trying to lead them astray, but they're kind of out of your sight. They're kind of in the fogs. And it is then that you see a figure horrifying beyond description that fills the entire sky. It's scaled. It's fangs. It's sharp.
Oh God,
That the
Reverend
vision
Neil's
ends.
not in a good place.
No, he's not in a good place. He might need to drink more quickly, or he might need to find something else. What about the rest of you? Do you take a drink from Lady Honeydew, or do you continue on your way? Because you don't have to take one from her. She is horrifying. Shush the way I'm built.
Yeah, Lobelia declines politely.
Leo, something? As he whispers into his jacket. Leo, do you want anything?
Yes, I want some of the honey that's dripping from her eye. Can you reach in with a spoon? And he holds up a small spoon and give me just a taste.
No! Damn it! Treat you like a person!
Stop being such a wimp! And he's like swatting you in the nose with the spoon. I'm starving. I have not eaten in days.
Back! Damn you!
Here it comes into the... He drops the spoon and just gives you the middle finger and drops down slowly. He gets feisty, so he hasn't eaten.
Robin, are you okay? Your coat seems upset with you.
It was a disagreement on the alterations I had done. It's over now. It's over now. He's sweating profusely.
Did you want a drink or anything?
No. He kicks the spoon away.
It slides. It slides across the floor, and it lands at the feet of a figure. And at that moment, for you, Robin, it is as if time stands still. Your arms and your hands have poems written on them, correct? They begin to peel off of you like little butterflies, and they start to go multicolored. They're not dark ink. They're bright. They're vivid. You see the spoon has landed at the feet of a tall, slender woman. Her skin is a gorgeous pale green, except around her eyes. It's pure white, and she's looking at you with the two most largest, beautiful eyes. You feel as though you've seen her before, and she begins speaking. Your poems start to form another one in the air. The choral of the sparrow in the eaves, the full round moon in the star-laden sky, and the loud song of the ever-singing leaves had hid away earth's old and weary cry. It's some Yeats, similar to yours. And you notice that these poems are sort of coming every time she blinks, are flying and sort of intermingling with yours, and it's your poems and verse complete each other. But at that moment, she looks down at the spoon and she kind of turns and walks away, and time begins moving again.
Robin will simply open up his jacket and say, "If you behave yourself for the next 10 minutes, I'll get you some of that damn eye honey." And
Don't fuck this up!
he begins to go after the green skinned woman with the white eyes, and picks up the spoon along the way and hands it into his.
Yes. All right. With trembling hands, it kind of goes back down. And she's kind of moving gracefully across the floor. What of Lucy girl? Does she want to go take a number, hop in line, sit down? Does she want to listen to music?
Lucy would go with Batali to figure out where we like sign up and make sure he's all set up and get him a drink if he wants a drink.
Yeah, there's a shark-headed individual who's just like, you have signed up. You know, you magically already have numbers on each other. Quick!
Do we have like those little stickers like, "Hi, I'm Lucy"?
Yes. And when you look at it, the first name that comes into your head appears there. That's your name for the evening. Because you might not be comfortable using your real name. You might indeed, though.
It says, "Hi, I'm Oh Hello." That's
Hi,
my name.
Oh Hello.
Oh Hello.
Batali says Lobelia, and he's just like, no. Starts
Robin
whimpering.
says John Wayne.
What about Reverend Neil?
It just says Reverend Neil.
Yeah, I'm glad. Lobelia and Parzival, they're like, this seems odd. This isn't quite the discotheque that they described to us.
Expecting something different. How strange.
Can I get you anything, my love? Anything to drink? Any refreshment?
Yes, I would enjoy that. Thank you.
And while I do that, just know I've been thinking of you. And he kind of swirls his hand. He makes a little flower for you. Just kind of conjures it and hands it to you.
Hold on. I got this. Come here, stupid Rose. Get out of here. Thank you.
With a wink and a smile, he kind of escorts you to a place to sit down. Snaps his fingers so that there's two sentinels by you, so nothing could come and screw with you. While he goes and gets something, he goes, "I've got you covered." He's gonna go get some food for you. Is there anything Lobelia wants to do? Is there anything she wants to sort of survey? You know, she notices kind of little lights moving. She notices Battalion Lucy girl kind of being ushered. It almost looks like to a different room.
I want to look after Batali and Lucy girl.
You see that,
Yeah, I'm just gonna look around.
You see that they're being ushered with each other. It's kind of weird from your sitting at maybe the angle, the depth perception. It kind of looks like they might be holding hands, but it might just be forced perspective. You're not too sure, but it's one of those things. You clearly see it. And they're taken into a different room.
Perhaps they are on a date, a secret date.
Now, Neil, did you follow Lucy girl and Batali, or are you going elsewhere? Oh, you're still drinking the Word of God.
No, Reverend Neil has. He took one drink of that, had that vision, and he was just like, I think that is probably enough of that today. As they say, too much of a good thing is no longer a good thing. Because Reverend Neil just had flashbacks to the last time Reverend Neil had strange visions was not a good time in his life. he was most definitely on some sort of hallucinogenic at that point in his life, and so weird vision's not his thing. So I think he just like pretends to sip it every now and then. Eventually, he'll find he'll find he'll find a table when no one's looking and just kind of set it down.
Well, as you sit down, you have a table. You start to hear, the words in your ears. I know your eyes in the morning sun. I feel you touch me in the pouring rain. And the moment that you wander far from me, I want to feel you in my arms again. And then wearing this like Parisian night suit, there's this like big bearded, big bellied, winged cherub guy. It's Cherub Gibb, and he's the one that Lucy Girl's been looking for, and then he's he gets to the point where he's like, and it's me you need to show, how deep is your love, and he's going into it, and you notice that he seems to be controlling the temperament of the light in here. It's definitely following his voice and the rhythm of his voice in the words as he speaks them. However, he is an ally, an intercepting angel, a messenger of the gods. And yes, chat. Cherub Gibb is here. Cherub Gibb runs the speed dating here at the secret bar in Lower Taverswood, in the city of Saturnine, under the indigo sun. So
you must be this Cherub Gibb that I have heard so many good things about.
Oh, you're gonna go up and talk to him while he's singing?
Oh, I thought.
No. Yeah. He's singing. He's rocking the floor, and like if you go up and you kind of do that, the Santa from the movie A Christmas Story, that kind of ho 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 kicks on the face as you come up. He's like, "Back away, Reverend." He's like, "Not today." He's like,
I think Reverend will let him finish his song or something like that.
Yes, and in fact, while he's doing it, normally Cherub Gibb works the crowd. He starts working to you, and he kind of looks at you. I need you to make a resist check, because he's going to try to make you fall in love with someone. This is what he does.
Okay, so what do I do for
So it's a 10-sided die, so here's how you can do this. So to make the check, you can if you're skilled in resistance, it will add to it. Amongst other things.
I do not have skill in resistance. I have seeing through deception.
No. Here's what we do.
Magic.
So here. Let me read from the rules. So I've placed these in the Roll20 as well. So there's 3 kinds of defenses: withstand, dodge, and resist. So this means if you want to use any points from your pool, they can come out of your intellect pool. And in order to do this, you need to get at least 2 successes, which means you're probably going to need to use a point of sortilege to roll 2d10 instead of 1.
Okay. Then let me. I've got 4 points in sortilege. So let's use 2 points of sortilege and roll 3d10. Is that what it is?
I think at this point, based on your abilities, you can only use 1 point of sortilege.
Okay.
I'll double check though.
Okay. So then let's use 1 point of sortilege.
Thank you for the bits. Okay.
All right. I got a 4 and a 6.
Okay. So you begin to become and feel very, very Twitter-pated in the moment, and your eyes kind of meet. There is a woman with skin that looks like it's pure gold. Her hair is a blue, almost like Amelie style haircut. This kind of shorter haircut. She's shorter. She's kind of an average build, and you see her, and from the moment you see her, you know she's the one for you.
Geez. How does...
And her eyes meet you, and you feel as if you've been hit by a sack of bricks. And her eyes return the feelings that you feel for her. You can tell, and you know this. Probably because Cherub Gibb's still working his magic. He's like, I'm a matchmaker, putting Vizlay together. And he's just like, he's like, I love speed dating.
If Reverend Neil had a hat, he would have it in hand at this moment and over his chest. I think he'll approach her, and he'll be it's a mighty fine party we're having here.
She reaches out her hands. She wants to dance with you. Do you dance with her?
Normally I would need a few more drinks in me before I wanted to dance, but there's just something about this that feels right. I would gladly dance with you. And
she kind of takes you in this like King and I style polka. Shall we dance? Dun, dun, dun. And Reverend Neil, and this beautiful Vizlay are dancing across the floor. Her name is Belladonna, and she is 100% in love with you right now. And let's cut back to Robin, who's sort of been tracing that beautiful figure from earlier. Have you caught up with her? Have you tried to talk to her?
Oh,
She's
yeah,
sitting alone at a table reading a book.
Well, he definitely caught up.
$15.
But he goes back and forth as he would walk up and chicken out and then turn and walk away, and then walk back by and chicken out and then turn and walk. So he can't commit to the dive yet or the approach for the landing. So
you notice on like the fifth time you see she's been watching you the entire time, and as your eyes meet hers, she kind of looks away shyly with like a slight blush, even though she's green. Like, this is the most adorable thing ever. But she's not going to initiate. That's your job in this situation.
Okay, so as Night Fever has just started in my playlist that Charlie and I are cultivating in the backstage chat, he's going to do what he okay, there's only one person that Robin's been himself around since we started this, and that's Lucy Girl. But in this moment, he's not going to be himself. He's going to think and act the way he believes somebody in one of his poems or somebody from a work of literature should act. And so really not embracing any of what I just said, he is going to try to take the other chair at the table like Commander William Riker sits down, where he just throws the leg over from the back. It's the oddest thing. If you've never noticed how Riker sits down, it's something to look up on YouTube. And he's just going to throw his leg over the high back chair so it looks awful. And he's going to sit down.
She kind of sidles around and turns to where she's sitting right beside you. Her hips kind of like just barely brushing yours. And she holds up a small book, and as you can see, all the words are backwards. Then she pulls out a small hand mirror and kind of holds it in front of you and holds up the book, and it's a book of poetry. It's a Shadow object. This is a book from Shadow. These are Robin's poems. She knew you. And we're going to cut the scene to Lucy Girl, Batali. We've been taken into a dark room, Batali and Lucy Girl. And the two of us, it's dark. There's no light. Except for a very faint light. a key you recognize, a key to the Hall of Memories, which seems like it's on a necklace. And there is a pair of broad shoulders that it seems to be attached to this individual as it sort of dangles. Well, aren't they the delicious couple? Says a voice.
Hello? Lucy reaches and pulls apart the raincoat and like pulls the little chain to turn on the light bulb.
It lights up. As it lights up, you see on either side of you and Batali, two fanged individuals. And there's one across from you that also has fangs. This broad-shouldered, large individual, it's definitely a very strong woman. And she is decked out, leather trench coat. She has chains wrapped around her arms that seem to give off smoke and vapor. And she has the key around her neck. She's like, so, you're the group's payment for tonight. They're sort of sizing.
I'm sorry? How did you get that? That's Lobelia's. And like the hand goes out towards the key.
As your hand goes out to grab the key, the fanged individuals to either side goes to take your arm. Do you jerk your arm away, or do you let the consequences happen? I can tell you what the consequences are. You will not get hurt. I'll tell you that much.
I didn't think she would jerk away. She's not scared by some fangs.
Well, she's not scared by fangs, but she might be scared from having her secret soul sucked from her. These vampires, there are vampires in the Actuality, there are vampires in Lower Taverswood, go to get Lobelia. Batali steps in the way, though, and he like kind of catches their fists, and he's holding them, and the vampires lean in and bite Batali, just right on the neck. He's stronger than he looks, though. Batali's not a weakling. He's very meek, but that's because he loves Lobelia and he doesn't know how to act around her. But he stands up quite a bit straighter, and he's like, Lucy girl, I think we should get out of here. They're vampires. And you can see just like the color leaving that side of his face and kind of creeping across.
So what Lucy would like to do is draw on what is left on that moonshine that she collected at the sleepover, and look up and see the disco ball dormant in the ceiling, and just blast it with light. So there's just a lot of bright light just bouncing around this room to disorientate.
And the nice thing about that is moonlight is sunlight. So it's just reflected sunlight. So here's what I want you to do. This is going to be a spell. You can put as many points into it. The more points that go into it, the greater the effect. And then you'll have to roll a 10-sided die, and we'll see what happens to these soul vampires. Right? Sorcery. And you can use Sortilege to roll extra dice.
Oh, I have 4 sorcery points. Okay, cool. I see it on my sheet. I'm good. You know what? Lucy is gonna block all her sorcery points. She doesn't know.
Okay.
I rolled a 4.
And at any point, just so you know, that's great. And you get to add 4 to the total because you're using all of your sorcery points. You can just say as an action, I'm recovering, and refill one of your pools up to full. So you do this. It hits all the vampires. The one that was moving in to grab you completely vaporizes. The one that had Batali also vaporizes. The woman catches all of the moonlight in a small medallion, just sucks it up. I was like, this will make an excellent gift for my daughter, as will your throat. And she kind of lashes at you with the chains. I need you to make a defense roll. So this is going to be the other one.
Grant, would Robin have noticed this? Especially like the flare.
They're in a separate room.
Okay.
They pulled them to a different room. There is a dormant disco ball in there, though.
Lobelia is the closest one to us.
Mhm.
I think she's still outside.
She's going to be getting smooches in a second, though. They're going to be like hot booth smooching. It's going to be this like wild public display of affection where like even the onlookers are like, that's the most romantic thing I've ever seen. This is like a movie. And it's going to be horrible. Everyone will drown in the honey. Meanwhile, we all die. So you can dodge or you can attempt to withstand it. So you either let it hit you or you try to move out of the way.
I think she's gonna move this time. She doesn't want to get hit.
All right. So this is going to come out of your movement pool.
All right. I rolled a 6.
You move out of the way of the chain, and it kind of cracks on the door. Everyone who's inside, Cherub Gibb's singing loudly. He's rocking the music, and everyone just kind of hears like a loud, unnatural thud and sees some smoke kind of seep through the cracks on that door. You see Cherub Gibb start singing more loudly, and like the DJs turn up the music. And with that, we'll cut back to Lobelia. So Lobelia, Parzival has returned, peradventure natheless, and has brought an immaculate selection of food. He's like, this is what I recommend. And oddly enough, his recommendations are like very perfect for someone who's never been here before. It's because he has the Chamberman's heart, and the Chamberman actually owned this establishment.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So I'm just like, perfection. Perfect. And I will.
So, also I want to put a mechanical point. So we had a donation earlier that donated a Wicked Key. Wicked Keys are very, very cool. They're used to unlock problems. So, you stick a key in something and you turn it. Say there's a barrier. Say there's a bouncer in front of the door. You could literally stick your Wicked Key and turn it, and the bouncer's gone. It's a powerful problem-solving ability. So Greg has received one of those. Robin, as a character, now has a Wicked Key that does that. It might have some others from the first session. So, Lobelia, you have a smorgasbord that has been brought to you by your sweetheart. And he's kind of snaps his fingers, the sentinels disappear, and he takes his place beside you. And he's sitting very comfortably close. You can kind of feel he's there. He's not invading your space. And he's just very thoughtful. And everything you notice, everything's the right portion size. There's a variety of drinks laid out in the order that he knows you will drink them. Yes.
This
he's
is
like,
everything.
yeah, and he's just like, yeah, and he explains too. He goes, you know, that servant Battali of yours he's a cracking good servant. Battali told him about the drinks and how to lay them out. Yes, he's like, you know, he's really got an excellent system down. He gave it to me, and he pulls out a little note, and on the sheet of paper you can see Battali's drawn some like frowny faces, little clouds over his head labeled "I am sad today," and then he also has the these are the drinks, you dummy. And he's like drawn the various drinks in the glasses.
Oh my gosh. Battali, why is Lobelia such a monster? Okay. She's like, oh, fascinating. I did not realize you had acquired this list from him. But thank you for retrieving them.
Well, I didn't ask him. He just did it proactively. He really takes quite the initiative.
I see. Then I realized, like, wait, he and Lucy Girl walked off into a room, and I go to look to see if, like, they've come out yet.
They haven't. The standard is 7 minutes, he says, as the camera cuts back over to Robin. And so you're with this beautiful figure. Her name is Prudence Delilah. And so she's Prudence. And she is a muse. Not only that, she is literally Robin's muse. She was your muse in shadow. You didn't know she would be in the actuality, yet here she is. She's sitting with you. What do you do?
Well, having just received this key, what Robin's going to do is he doesn't want to mess this up. This is like the hinge line of a poem that the buildup could be fantastic to this point, and he wants to make sure that he can bring it all home, that he can tie it together. So he will produce this key, and he is going to, with his left hand, he is going to open up his pen hand on his right, and he hopes that inside it will tell him how to act and treat the person that he loves, what to say next. And so I don't know how these work, Grant. Do I go ahead and narrate this?
Oh, you get to narrate it. It works exactly how you intend.
So he takes the key, and some of the words that are written on his palm in a mixture of tattoo and just surface ink kind of swirl together into an old-timey keyhole. And he puts it into his right palm and turns it, and as it clicks, his entire pen hand, the one that he has written all of his poems with, opens up. And as he opens up his hand, inside it says, "I'm here, Lucy girl. I'm here." And he realizes at that moment, it's not the muse, it's Lucy girl. And he stands up. I have to go.
Just as you leave, she leans in and she gives a soft, short, but perfect kiss right on your lips, and then just kind of waves goodbye to you and puts her book of poems away.
He closes his hand and relocks it as the key disappears, picks up his umbrella, and goes in search of Lucy.
All right. Now, for those of you following at home, we play Sooth cards all the time in this game, and sometimes we put them up on screen and explain them, sometimes we don't. But an adept card has been played, the Hunter. This is a badass card. You know, there's these cool clocks in the background, and she looks like she's ready to kill something. In fact, she is. At this point, Robin kicks open the door while Lucy Girl, who I didn't narrate, essentially, no, I did. Yeah, the chains hit the door, the smokes came out. Robin kicks open the door, and you see a large, broad, strong woman who's wearing mirrored sunglasses, even though it's dark. She has a glowing key dangling from around her neck. You know this key is the key to the Hall of Memories. There are charred corpses beside her. There is a half-faded, like desaturated Batali who's little woozy. He kind of looks like Sugar Ray Leonard after he'd been punched by Roberto Duran, who's just kind of like he's kind of wobbly, but he's on his feet. He hasn't been knocked down. And her eyes meet you, and she's like, just kind of like scoffs. She's like, what?
As soon as Robin walks in, he takes the umbrella and opens it and holds it like a shield. And from, I think, episode 2, the same hand that just unlocked, he opens, and there's a green pill, and he takes it in his mouth. This is the green pill that I was awarded that allows me to grow a mass of battering tendrils from my torso that wave off attackers and deflect attacks. It's also stronger in gold.
Ooh! Now we are okay. Yeah, so it's at max efficacy. Not only that, you go full Octodad on this vampire bitch, and just like, and she's just like, calls out, just kind of, she's in pain. Not only that, roll 10-sided die for me. If you add a point of physicality, you just might swat that key right off her neck.
That is a rolled 7.
her necklace breaks. The orb of moonlight that you had, or she was holding, smashes and explodes, charring her hand, which kind of shrivels into like a crippled monkey's paw. And she calls out in pain, and she grows some dark, phantasmic butterfly wings, and just kind of turns into a shadow bolt and shoots out the door. And shoots out. Meanwhile, Cherub Gibb still, he's like staying alive at this point. And this is like, I imagine Reverend Neil's like taken to the center of the dance floor, kind of like John Travolta in that movie Saturday Night Fever, and like everyone's kind of gathered around. They're like, oh yeah, and like Neil's really got it, and like Neil is the hit of the party. That's what happens on the dance floor. While on the inside, Batali turns to Lucy Girl and says, "He saved us. He saved us," and he kind of just drops in a faint as the rest of the color leaves his face. He's unconscious on the ground. What do you do? I'll let the party narrate from here. How do you want to handle this? So Batali has fainted for the moment.
Robin would move forward as his octa tentacles are still around, but at the end of each of the tentacles, it's as if they open up into separate umbrellas and form a kind of like a shield tortoiseshell wall as he drops down to one knee and puts the wall between any potential enemies and Lucy and Batali. And he says over his shoulder, "I'm here, Lucy Girl. I'm here."
Okay, and she's panicking. There's just a lot that just happened, and she sees Batali on the floor, and she drops down beside Batali and kind of props his head up against her knee and is looking to see where he's injured. Her like little heart light bulb is just emitting this pulsing red danger light.
There's two things you notice. He has the bite marks where you can see the trace of your moonlight magic leaking out. His soul has been partially sucked. He's lost his vital essence to some extent. There's something else you see all over the floor, on the walls. Your light is revealing various demonic runes, spider talk, spider signs that kind of fill the walls. This room is a web intended to capture prey, and everyone while in this room is slightly weaker than they would be if they were outside of it.
Batali?
He looks up at you. His eyes, the little glisten in his eyes that you gave him kind of fades and goes out, and it's just his normal dark eyes. And he goes, "Hi, Lucy Girl. Your magic's really useful. It fixed my beard, and it saved my life."
All right, Batali. She's like trying to like stroke his hair, and she looks at Robin. Robin, she had the key that Lobelia should have.
It was knocked away, right? She didn't grab it, did she?
You notice it. It's one of those things too. Like you see the little hand, like drop the spoon and grab the key, and like this is Leo inside Robin's jacket. He's like, "I am good for something." And kind of like, just kind of like pokes it around your nose uncomfortably, then drops it and goes, "I want my spoon back."
Good catch, Leo.
Gives you a thumbs up.
Now, did Lobelia see Robin kick in the door?
Yes,
Okay.
and you saw a bunch of moonlight, and you saw a shadow bolt go shooting out.
I think she'd investigate at this point, because this doesn't... I don't know why we're here. It's kind of weird, but Reverend seems to be getting it on, and I don't know.
Reverend Neil, roll me 2 10-sided dice. Say one's high and one's low. This is how many converts you converted through the magic of your dance.
Sorry, say one's high, one's low? Sorry, what?
Yeah, just pick a high die and a low die. It's like rolling percentile dice.
Okay. This will
You
be...
can do so D100 it.
All right, yeah, let me... 17.
17 dancers are going to become your church glee club. They're going to be your gospel choir.
Cool.
Yeah, that's what
I
they
definitely
did.
do think that yeah, he is having a great time. Um, and he has not noticed anything
Yeah.
going on in the background. He's just staring into the eyes of Belladonna as they're
Yeah,
dancing.
well, Belladonna asks if you'd like to go with her to get something to drink. She goes, the dancing's good here and the music's good, but the drinks are subpar. I mean, shoot, they're literally like serving the divine language and the divine tongue to people, and I think that's really, some say, sacrilegious. She says and realizes it's one weak dad joke that she knows. She goes, but I don't think it's right to
Reverend
do.
Neil is just he's just laughing it up. And for a moment, there's in the back of Reverend Neil's head, there is the "I came here with friends. I should see how they're doing." But
Oh,
I
you
think
came
he
here with
looks,
friends? We could all go.
He'll look around, and well, does he see anything of particular concern in the immediate sort of dance
No, it
area?
would all be behind closed doors.
Uh-huh. Well, it seems like they've all gone off with their own things. I wouldn't mind sharing a drink with you, though. I would. It would be my pleasure. I don't think I've gotten your name yet. We sort of rushed into the dancing, and, well, I'd like to introduce myself. I am Reverend X Nail Fit.
That's a beautiful name, she says, very matter-of-factly. My name is Belladonna. Lady Belladonna to some.
It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance, my lady.
She like blushes when you say that, even though her skin's like glistening brass, and she's just like, you know, and yeah, in yeah, she's very flustered by Reverend Neil's grace on the dance floor, knowledge of the Word of God. Because she's a believer too, but you know she knows it's not hip to. She's the only one in her family that does. She kind of found it on her own. And you have there's 17 people marching through the streets now. And they're like, Reverend Neil for life. Let's go to church on the Sabbath. And they're like, woo, running.
Yes,
they're
my children, go and spread the word of the church.
Let's go abstain. No, sorry, they go have an abstinence party. It's raining now.
Go forth and be joyful, my children. Love yourselves and love others. Most importantly, love your enemies.
While you're saying this, Belladonna's taking your hand, just kind of swinging it adorably. She's like, man, what a cool guy. And no one has probably ever called Reverend Neil a cool guy. She's very sincere when she says this. Lobelia, you enter to see a scene of frightening darkness. 1 second, I'll drop some papers.
Yes.
Yeah, they're in this dimly lit room. Your servant Vitali is on the ground. His head's kind of in Lucy Girl's lap. Robin's standing there with this massive tentacle shield. There's all this demonic script over the walls, on the floor, on the ground. There are husks of human remains in the room. Not just the two that got fried by the sunlight blast. There's corpses. They've been sucked, withered, their shrunken selves shriveled.
Whatever has happened?
Vitali says, Lobelia! And as he sees Lobelia, the color starts to come back into him.
Is everything all right?
Vitali was very brave. We were ambushed by some... I don't know what it was. She was.
Robin
She
knows
had
they're vampires.
I saw a shadow leave the room after Robin kicked in a door.
Robin would say, "Oh, thank God, it's Lobelia."
Yeah, Robin's great at kicking in doors. He's kind of a badass. Did you know that about him? Like, Batali just says very matter-of-factly,
I had
hey,
no
where's
idea.
where's your boyfriend? And like Parzival's still at the table. He was not prepared for Lobelia to leave because he had arranged the perfect evening, and it wasn't in his programming that Lobelia would just get up and go. And so he's just kind of
No.
like,
Just gonna
these
fry a
drinks
circuit.
aren't going to drink themselves.
I have to keep up. The food and drinks must be consumed at the proper pace, so that way when it gets back, you're not behind.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's what Parzival's doing. He's gonna be fun to walk home on that train. Woo! Perfect man. Da-da-da-da.
Is anyone injured?
Batali goes, slight wound, but I'll be okay, he says. And kind of the little twinkle in his eye that Lucy gave him is starting to come back.
Can you help him, Lobelia?
Well, I was a surgeon in another life. So,
Can you sew me up? He kind of wears, you notice he has this horrible gash on his neck. It looked like 2 bite marks in the dark, but you notice it's kind of grown and spread.
oh. Oh, that does not look good. That is definitely... Yes. That has to be fixed immediately.
It's gonna get infected, I think.
Oof. Well, look
then
at these demonic runes all over this room. Perhaps we should move you out of here first.
And he's all like, he's starting to get a little loopy, and he's like starting to sing like the Smiths. He's like, but to die by your side is such a heavenly way to die. And he's just like, yeah, he's just like double-decker
Lucy girl?
busing. Yeah.
Let's get him out of here before we do any doctoring. This is a creepy room. It's not aesthetically pleasing at all.
We should keep people from coming in here as well.
Yes.
Lucy kind of puts like one shoulder under one of Batali's arms so that Lobelia can kind of go the other side and we can have him between us.
Yeah. As you get him out, you know, at this point, Cherub Gibb is on like My First, My Last, My Everything by Barry White. He's just, my first, my last, my everything, and the answer to all of my dreams. And he's like, you know, my sun, my moon, my guiding star, all that jazz. And like, he's growing. He's starting to fill up the room. And then like his eyes meet Robin's, and then his eyes kind of look back over to where the muse was, and the muse is gone. And then he just kind of winks at you. Let's just say, no matter how the night goes, Robin will have a pleasant dream that night.
Oh my.
Open to your own interpretation. With that,
Yeah, as soon as we're out of the room, Lobelia will try to give some medical treatment.
it's interesting because you notice as you're coming out, Parzival saw you coming and has like cleaned off the table. He's prepared it. He's got adequate light. He has instruments ready to go. Because Parzival's heart was the chamberman's heart, and the chamberman was a doctor. He knows how to do this, but he's
That's
not
right,
going to.
we did the surgery together.
You did the surgery together, and yeah, so Parzival's set it up as like a surgical first assist. He knows what to do, and he's just there ready to go and assist. He's like, all right,
Gloves.
we'll patch this boy. This is going to be a check.
Okay.
So it's a series of checks. The first thing I want to do is I want you to describe to me how you prep. Hey, $15. Another key. Lucy girl gets a wicked key. Thank you. So, there's gonna be 3 phrases. So how do you prepare Batali for
Well, first, get him out of the room. Get him on the surgical table, the surgery table. Make sure that's the only wound he has. Inspect him for all wounds, and then clean the area so he doesn't get infected.
It's the only wound he has except for his slowly breaking heart. Yeah, you clean it. It's not hard. You can tell cleaning this wound, it's probably the most painful thing that can be done to a Vizsla that's had its soul partially sucked. He's not showing any signs of pain, though. And he's kind of like holding Lucy Girl's hand while this is going on. He's just like, They came after Lucy Girl, and I wasn't going to let them do that. There's no reason why anyone should attack Lucy Girl. I think that's probably the stupidest thing someone could do. Isn't that right, Robin? He kind of looks at you.
Robin, as he's still defensing,
Yes.
will reach down and he'll smack away Leo's hand as Leo tries to mimic his movements. And he'll reach down and take Batali's hand, and in a silent measure of taking back everything that he said on the ride over, he just kind of shakes the hand from the top. Good job, Batali.
Do I see Leo's hand snake out first?
Leo's hand?
I have no idea.
Here's the worst part about Leo right now. He's like fumbling, grabbing instruments, then handing them to Parsival, who's working. He's working as like the scrub technician on the back table. Just, here, I've prepped the next instrument. And Parsival's just like, I don't know who this guy is. He's not quite perfect, but his hands are quite nice. Just because he
like,
Parzival's the perfected form of Leo, you know. So.
I know. So I'm just looking. I'm like, my hand looks familiar.
Yes.
I look at Robin's coat. I look at the hand. I'm like, no, I'll look into this.
Meanwhile, yeah, while he's doing that, one eye from like a missing button or something. Not that Greg's character would miss a button. It was like fixated on Lobelia and was like, "This is all for you."
And if Robin notices that Lobelia is looking over, he will give the finely veiled code to Leo, knowing that Leo's presence could get them both into a heap of trouble. So he just looks down at his jacket and whispers, "John has a long mustache. John has a long mustache. The chair is against the wall. The chair is against the wall." In the hopes that the code that they had agreed upon earlier convinced Leo to hide back in the pit.
Yeah, Leo just as if he was never there at all. Neil, you see the operation going on.
Yeah.
And Batali's eyes meet Reverend Neil's. Goes, "Neil, this is really painful. I think if you prayed a little, it'd take my mind off the pain. Now, I don't necessarily believe in the same God as you. In fact, I'm not even sure what I believe in. But your words always bring comfort to people."
Oh, there's like a little tear in Reverend Neil's eye. It's just like, of course, my child, I will pray with you. And I think Reverend Neil will.
Just as you get started, he goes, "Hey, who's your girlfriend?" And like Belladonna kind of blushes again, like, "Oh, girlfriend.
Reverend Neil
This is
also-
moving so fast."
Reverend Neil also slightly blushes. Oh well. She is the lovely Lady Belladonna, and we have just met, but she is a lovely woman.
You
But,
use that adjective lots of times. I recommend looking up synonyms and thesauri. That's what I did with for Lobelia. He says very frankly, like openly, for like the first time, like accidentally, and then he passes out from either embarrassment or the pain of Lobelia cleaning his neck.
Reverend Neil will grab one of Vitali's hands and
He's
sort
got two
of
hands now.
yeah he's just
It's gonna come out like
he'll
Darth
grab
Vader
one
being
and sort
put in the suit.
hold it
No!
yeah sort of hold it in a between his hands and start praying. Though you walk through the shadow through the valley of shadow.
Don't say that! I'm out of shadow. I'm in the actuality. It's good. So,
So yeah, cleaning the neck wound, and then
you
she'll
clean?
start
Yeah.
to very carefully stitch it up. She's got materials.
Yeah, you're good at you do it, and you do an expert job. The fact that he's unconscious now from embarrassment makes it not even a check anymore. If he was awake, he might move.
Stitching.
And with that,
Lots of mental notes.
we're gonna cut to the long train ride back. Has the seating arrangements changed at all on the ride back? Who rides with whom?
Did I get Belladonna's phone number? The question. Did I go home with them? That is the question.
That did you? She's very open to you going home with her.
I think even though Reverend Neil is smitten with her, he is a slow mover. Like even though he went a little faster than he was
You can
comfortable.
show her the slide.
There's a slide, she says. She leaves you 3 different ways to contact her.
Yeah.
And
I think he says, I've had a lovely evening with you, and I would hope that we can meet again sooner rather than later.
She pecks your cheek sweetly and kind of like says, "See you at church," and kind of skips off. Adorably.
Yeah. I think Reverend Neil's pretty quiet on the way back. I think he's thinking.
He's got a private car. With all of his new followers, there's 17 people. We built this city, and like, yeah, there's we built this city, and they're gonna fix up the church for you on rock and roll. Yeah, that's.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Would Cherub Gibbs magic wear off eventually, or?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
We roll every day for depletion.
All right, and would Reverend Neil? He is fairly adept at sorcery and whatnot. He has a pretty good understanding of magic. Would he know that there had been some sort of magic going on there?
Well, here's what he does know. And this is the interesting thing about love. Love is its own form of magic, right? Mm-hmm. So, whether it was an enchantment of some sort, you feel at the end of the day, whether a spell was cast or not, your own heart consented.
Yeah.
Cherub Gibb simply pointed you in the right direction.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think Reverend Neil, while he's very quiet, does think about what happened, and he thinks about, what it means. And I think at the end of the day, he sort of is like, perhaps I should take my own advice and just be happy.
And sorry, because Charlie posted this on our backstage chat, like as you're in the private train, you're going there about halfway, I imagine the Vizsla equivalent of Peebo Bryson kicks open the door, and he's just like, "Love lifts us up where we belong," and like he's singing, and then like sees Reverend Neil and is like, "Oh, I'm sorry, didn't realize this cart was occupied," and then kind of leaves.
Oh, no problem. Have you heard of the Church of the Lost Seekers?
I'm a member, and you see he's a member of your congregation. Reverend, let me buy you a meal. This is the first good meal that Reverend Neil has had in probably 3 weeks.
Yeah, Reverend Neil is not exactly well.
Let's get some solids in you. So, it looks like Batali's and Parzival will be with Lobelia, which would leave Leo and Robin and Lucy Girl to be alone. How does your ride look on the way back?
Like everything that Robin does, silent and awkward. But he's happy.
I think that they sit in the same seats they had before, sitting next to each other rather than going to opposites. And partway through the ride back, tired out from blowing all of her sorcery points, conjuring the last of her moonlight, she'll just kind of like lean against Robin, kind of put her head on his shoulder, and then feel this lump, this questionable lump in his jacket.
It's quite warm in here.
Leo, left pit. Good whisper.
Nuzzles. As you ride together quietly, a shadow song kind of plays throughout the car. There might be hidden messages in it, but it's an old Billie Holiday song. I'll find you in the morning sun, and when the night is new, I'll be looking at the moon, but I'll be seeing you. And yeah, just kind of a sad song. It is Robin looks out. His muse waves from the moon, and they'll be seeing each other later. The final car. Lobelia, Parzival, and the unconscious Batali ride together.
He's just laid out on the seat, like the bench seat across
Yes.
the way.
He's laid across the group of you. You're using him like a blanket. He's actually quite warm. You can actually decompress him and spread him thinner. No. Do Lobelia and Parzival speak of anything?
I think Lobelia is actually going to be in a bit of thought.
What is she thinking about?
She's thinking about some of the things she's seen today. She's like, well, I thought that Batali and Lucy Girl may have been on a date, but then Robin kicked in the door and seemed protective of Lucy Girl. And then there was that familiar hand coming out from Robin's jacket. That new surgery tools. And then Batali said some stuff and, And then that list, she's just thinking. She's thinking about all of her newfound friends and connections and...
Yeah, and it's one of those things, and right when you get to that point in thought where you feel like you want to smooch, like Parzival's lips are right there. You're just like, I need to smooch. I think those are... there. Perfect. And Parzival, is kind of sitting there quietly, as close as you need him or as distant as you need him. He has that innate intuition to adjust, acclimate, and kind of reposition himself based on your mood and your wants, to the point where it's almost as if he is operating without a will of his own. Back in the car with Lucy Girl and Robin, is there any additional conversation?
So Lucy kind of reflecting on the night, kind of in a similar way to Lobelia, piecing it all back together. And she looks down, and just fading away is that name tag that says, "Hello, I'm oh hello." And she turns and looks to Robin and says, "We never got to try the speed dating. Robin, if you could be an animal, what animal would you be?"
I think a turtle. Is that an animal?
Yes.
I don't know.
Leo kind of speaks up. Does it tortoise no natural predators?
Get back! Get back!
I like that.
Yeah. You always have your house with you. I don't have a house.
No, but don't you live next to that van with the eyeballs?
It's risen up about 2 or 3 feet. It's some good vibes in the neighborhood.
Good. It's kind of like a turtle in a weird way. Kind of got a hard shell and external squishy parts.
Well, and he gets braver. What's your favorite animal?
Oh, well, I'd like to be a snail, really. Guess that's why I have one as a pet.
She smells like one, says Leo.
Shut up!
I don't seem to mind.
Shut up!
It's an honest odor.
I guess snail wasn't a good answer. Okay,
No, that's perfect. We each picked something that has a shell.
Guess we did.
He looks down and at his name tag as John Wayne fades away and says, who was your hero when you were a kid?
This is gonna sound so stupid, but I always wanted to be Dorothy. I always wanted to go to sleep one day and wake up somewhere bright and crazy. And she kind of glances around this train shaped like a whale, playing strange shadow music.
He concentrates for a second And as the John Wayne fades, Dorothy pops forward and he pulls off his tag and puts it on Lucy
Aw.
Girl.
Oh, and she like smooths it down. Well, mine's gone. And she reaches into the small bag that she's got with her, and it's got a little notebook in, and she like rips out a page and writes on it, "Hello, I'm..." Well, what name should I put?
Scarecrow.
But you're not missing your brain.
Not yet. And he thinks of Lobelia for just a second.
And Lucy like locks eyes with him and just goes, "Lobelia," and she writes Scarecrow down and kind of balances it on like a button on his jacket because she has nothing to fasten it with.
Leo, hold that. And
It's
little
just
hand
my
comes
one
up.
job to do.
Do it well. Damn you, do it well.
I've got it.
I like a jacket that does more than keep you warm.
Well, you say that. No. He's okay. He's Leo, Lucy girl, Leo. And he moves his lapel over towards Lucy.
This strange
Leo.
puppet form kind of drops its head out as spookily as possible and says, "I have some questions about animals and superheroes and things of that nature as well."
Get back! Damn you! I tried to treat you. Get back!
You owe me, honey, he says, and like...
I was
with
a liar. I lied. I'm a poet.
And with that, I'm going to cut the camera and Reverend Neil alone as the night has worn on. There's been conversations. There's been ad hoc speed dating in railway cars. There's been pondering makers. Neil, as you sit alone, the door opens. A pair of mirrored sunglasses, broad shoulders, and a long dark trench coat looks at you. And a voice speaks. Who took the key? We're going to cut there and end the session there as you are face to face with the Queen of Vampires.
Cut as Tango Roxanne started playing. It was really spooky.
And with that, we're going to go into our character summary. So everybody gets a point of acumen. That's what you use to buy NPC friends, learn secrets, learn new spells, etc. Robin gets a point of joy and despair. Lobelia gets a point of joy, Neil gets a point of joy, and Lucy Girl gets a point of despair. And now we go through our character summaries and talk about how we kind of felt overall throughout the scenes, throughout the sessions, maybe some things that our characters were thinking. You're allowed to be as forthcoming with information as you want. That helps us craft a more sophisticated narrative down the line. So let's start with Lobelia, then we'll go Lucy Girl, Reverend Neil, then Robin, and then we'll do our outros.
Oh man. I realized also when you mentioned the name tag, like, while Lobelia was doing surgery, she would have looked down at Vitaly and saying, "Hello, my name is Lobelia."
Yes!
That was another reason.
It literally says it on his chest right now, too.
I know. And so she's got a lot to think about because she's just been so like single track minded since pretty much before she met these friends of hers that she hasn't really considered other things. And so I think she's going to want to have a talk with Lucy Girl soon about stuff. Like, you get people.
So thank you for that $15 donation. Reverend Neil gets a wicked key.
Ooh,
Nice.
Awesome. But yeah, I finished my Create a Great Works arc.
Yeah.
So now I'm on the smooch arc.
Yeah.
And I think I got to a decent start on that. She's confused though, so I don't think she got super far on that tonight.
Oh, it's gonna be weird around your house. What with?
It's gonna be real weird, and she's thinking hard about that.
I mean, for all we know, Batali's a half vampire now that's gonna attack you in your sleep.
I know. Don't
I
think I,
don't
haven't
think
thought
he
about
will.
that, Grant.
I don't think he will.
Yeah,
He's a
so.
good boy.
I see maybe before the next episode, Lucy girl just chilling at her house and getting a knock at the door and opening it up, and it's just Lobelia by herself, and she's just like, she's got my brains. I don't know. But yeah, I had super fun. I have a lot of joy. No despair yet. We'll get to despair soon.
Yeah, that's coming. And Lucy girl.
Hello.
Let's talk about how you're feeling in your scenes.
I got nearly everything I wanted today, Grant. I did it. I did
I'm
it.
so
Nearly
glad.
everything. It's so close. I am so happy that Rev Neil got to experience Disco Fever in all of its glory. That we did not have murder on the dance floor. And you know, we caught the last train home, and it was great. Lucy, I'm not sure she has progressed much in her character arc.
What's your current arc?
Her current arc is to cleanse. Someone or something has been contaminated, probably by foul magic, and you want to rid them of the influences. Sorry. Which was linked to the ears that were plaguing.
I think.
I guess we got a step closer in that she got the key back. That's pretty good.
Yeah. So there's the overall arc, and there's the ears. I think it might actually be applicable to Batali as well, because he's most likely contaminated at the moment. You might have to help cleanse that poor boy.
Maybe. But you know, you can't fight the moonlight, Grant. You can't fight it. Just can't fight it, no. But yeah, I had a great time. So thank you. I've lost actually track of my points of despair and the happy one.
Joy.
I will find those before next session.
All right. And Reverend Neil.
Oh man, Reverend Neil has a bit to think about after this session. I think he's got a little bit of happiness for himself for the first time in like personal happiness, right? Like he does have some happiness when he's hanging out with Lucy girl, but that is sort of he's happy that she's happy kind of moment, whereas this is something that's like very personal to him. And I
Is
think
he ready for a relationship?
we'll see. He's got to answer that question for himself. That's something he has to think about for sure.
Don't break Belladonna's heart. She's a good girl.
Don't break my heart is what I'm more worried about.
You're gonna hurt each other. I'm
I mean, you named her after a poison, so how well can this go? Please don't break his heart. But yeah, I mean, it's gonna be interesting. He's got a bit to think about. But I am very happy for him. As far as his character arc, his is to build something. Specifically, this is to renovate the church. He's already found a site. He's got a plan.
The congregation to help you now, right?
Yeah, I was wondering if gathering congregation members would be considered gathering materials. This is probably multiple steps because I still need to get physical materials. But the church is the congregation at the end of the day. Wherever they are, the church is.
And you know, physical labor is half the battle, really.
He is waiting for the promise from the Chamberlain to get some funds for the church.
Well, the old chamberman is currently in shadow that you're going to find out when you get back there. What? He's done
Felt
gone to
that.
shadow.
Oh, well, that's awkward. But I mean, would you consider this a step within gathering materials?
100%. You got, yeah, I'd definitely say raising all that labor because they're going to bring materials with them.
Yeah.
We'll
cool.
get the concrete. We'll bring the dreams. And I'll bring the word of God. What a drink. What a beverage.
Reverend Neil's going to stay away from that word of God drink. That's just a bit too much even for him.
All right. And Robin, Greg himself.
I will say this, that Leo will gladly drink the word of God. He needs a little Jesus in his life, so he might just steal that if you need somebody to test it. But no, I had a blast. I really, really enjoyed this system. Like I said, it's an exercise in imagination. And when you get a chance to spend a Friday night where you just sit around and play an imagination-based game with your buds, and you go back and forth into which song you're listening to and play off of each other in a playlist in the backstage chat, it's super duper fun. I mean, it's really, to me, as an old guy, I'm sorry, antiquated relic. It is
Fossil-like.
Yeah.
fossil. But yeah, fossil, yeah. I'm like a fanned leaf on a stone. It's great. I have such a blast playing this game, and with Robin, he's progressing nicely, and he has equal amounts joy and despair at this point, which
Ooh.
Perfect for how I wanted to play and envision the character. But even though that was the original embodiment, I think this session I felt more comfortable in his Leo occupied jacket than I have in sessions past. So I'm really enjoying this. I really love it. Grant, you're a fantastic storyteller. The cinematic transition of the spoon dropping to the floor and me kicking it and it landing at my muse's feet, that's pure gold right there. Loved it.
Well, it's certainly fun to play. So that's our show for this week. We'll go around and let everyone know where we can find each other online. My name is Grant Ellis. I'm an independent content creator, tabletop role-playing games. I have 6 different role-playing supplements that are being published this year. 2 should be out soon. I think 1 by the end of this month, the TPK Handbook Volume 2 by 2C Gaming. Then by the end of March, we should have the TPK Handbook, or the TPK Bestiary. Both of those are 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons supplements. From what I hear from the playtesting, Grant Ellis's Encounters and Monsters are some scary, scary things. Which, I live up to my reputation for once. I'm also a content contributor for the game Reach of Titan. There's several other things I do. If you want to catch me tomorrow, I'm going to be on WebDM at 1 p.m. interviewing Burst of Hope. We're going to talk about martial arts, inclusivity at game stores, as well as online streaming play for my Gamers and Grant long-form conversation show, where we just talk about games and the gaming community at large. And then after that, in the evening, I'll be playing Unrestful Hearts in the Garden of Glory, which is a homebrewed system I designed on Encounter Roleplay, which is kind of my answer to how to add anime bullshit to RPGs. It's a fun one. But that's for me. How about you, Lindy?
Sorry, there's a cat on my arm, and I was like, scroll to unmute. Yeah, I'm Lindy, Laugh Love Lindy, on all the Twitches, Twitters, Instagrams, all the social medias. I play in/DM about a dozen or so tabletop RPGs a week. Tomorrow is Saturday, and you can find me on Power Score RPG. But Sunday, I'm really excited about, because Sunday, I have the Lost Girls, so Charlie's DMing. And then immediately, an hour after that, it's enough time for me to, eat. I get to play with Greg in Project Hyperion, where I am a wonderfully innocent Italian circus performer, contortionist, and it's great. And then immediately following that, I'm playing Ryutama for till midnight. So check out Sunday, because it's fun day.
And Charlie.
I had the best time. I'm at Frost and Fire on the Twitters. I play in a whole heap of games, and you can check out the pinned tweet to find out about that. As Lindy mentioned, on Sunday we do play on What DM's channel, but it's okay if you're over here because I hear that Highlander kicks off this week, first episode, and there can be only one. Oh, okay, you can have a whole series, Greg. All right, I'll let you. But yeah, check this out, and then our VOD will of course be on WebDM. If you would like to check out some Vampires in the 80s fun. Thank you, as always, Grant, for this. This was the best. I can't wait for 2 weeks' time when we get to play again.
Mr. Tommy.
Oh man, the one thing I want to say is that Robin and Leo kill me. They kill me so much. I love that interaction and relationship. It is hilarious. But yeah, I am Tommy. I'm Imperator Pengu on the Twitter sphere. I do tabletop RPG, occasionally video game stuff with other friends. I'm also in a couple of RPG games, not nearly as many as the rest of my lovely compatriots here. But enough that I've also got a pinned tweet with my schedule. Mondays and Tuesdays are my big fun days. I'm back here on Monday evenings playing Lady Blackbird with Greg down here. That is a lot of fun as well. Check it out. That's 9 p.m. Eastern. Things are getting real spicy and real interesting. And hopefully my character will be able to get some smooches there too.
I'm here for the smooches. Last but not least, the man, the myth, the legend, Grimjack21502. Greg, how's it going?
Oh, I already said, had an absolute blast. I want to thank all of these wonderful people for hanging out with me on a Friday night. It's just the best to show up and see these beautiful faces, beautiful role players, but better yet, all four of these people that you see around you, and I say it all the time, and I'll say it again, I'm blessed to be surrounded and be able to play with kind people. So all of their links are in chat right now. Please link up and follow them on Twitter. Add a little kindness to your life. God knows we need some of it in this 2019. I also want to thank Mal, everybody that contributed tonight, all of the great comments, Hawkeye in chat and everything. Really, really appreciate it, Legion. You are the best. The community is fantastic here. Speaking of here, what comes up next for us at the aforementioned 4 p.m. Eastern on Sunday is Highlander's first narrative episode. Highlander Fauna Winter's Night. We will be going into the origin of Summer's character, Sarah McLeod, the title character, the Highlander. And then 7 that evening, we will be playing Project Hyperion, our Pulp Cthulhu follow-up to Project Athena. Monday night, as Tommy said, we will have some Lady Blackbird at 9 p.m. Eastern, followed by Wednesday at 8 for some May Black Roses Bloom, DM'd by Jonathan Fry. And then on Thursday, we will have some Dungeon of the Mad Mage, DM'd by me. I'm also spread out all over the place throughout the week. You'll see me on Friday afternoons for Star Trek over on the Scraticus Academy. It's super fun. Show up there. If you get a chance to play that system, I really dig that system by Modiphius. Really, really like it. But we have a lot of fun things coming up, including, and this is the main reason I blabbered on, we have Monthly Madness coming up very soon. It looks very much like it's going to be a Ravenloft speed run, and we are going to have members of all of the casts of the shows come in, do their best to make it as far as they can. Any donations that come in for that episode will be funneled 100% to the casts that put together all of these fantastic shows. Because if we do not value our creative efforts and art, who will? And so it's our first step to be able to compensate cast for their time, their passion, and their creative energies. But just keep coming. This is a collaborative narrative here on Tales from the Grim, as it is on all of the places that you find any of these people. They are kind with both their hearts and with the stories they share. They're ready to hear you. They're ready to respond to you. They're ready to give you a tale and hear one from you. But unless anybody has anything else, I will take us out by simply saying, as the campfire goes down, there's only one thing left to say. You can't always roll nat 20s, but you can always role play. We'll see you next time, friends.